All right. In this video, we're going to learn Module 4, Lesson 2, pages 3 and 4. So if you didn't do the notes for pages 1 and 2 yet, go and do those first, and then come back and work on pages 3 and 4 with me. All right. So in these practice problems, you need to find the slope of lines, then determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So in Module 4.1, so Lesson 1, we had to find the slope and write an equation of a line when we were given 2 points. So we're going to continue to use that skill. And here we were given the point -3, 1 and 3, 4. And so I'm going to set up my slope formula and do my y2 minus my y1, so 4 minus 1, divided by 3 minus my x1, so x2 minus x1, and that's going to simplify to 3 over 6. Because remember, 4 minus 1 is 3, and 3 minus a -3 really means I'm adding, so that's going to become 6. So my slope is 3, 6, which I can then simplify to 1/2. Now we're going to look at line B, and we have -4 and -3, and 4, 1. So I'm going to put my y values on the top and my x values on the bottom, and I have y minus a -3 divided by 4 minus a -4. Well, 1 minus a -3 is going to be addition, so 1 plus 3, which is 4. And then 4 minus a -4 is going to be 8. So that is equal to 4 over 8, which is equal to 1/2. Well, 1/2 is equal to 1/2, therefore line A and line B are parallel because they have the same slope. In number 2, we were given 2 lines in standard form. So what we need to do to identify our slope is to solve for y. So we're going to get the y by itself. So in line C, if I have -x plus 4y is equal to -12, I'm going to add x to both sides, and then I get 4y is equal to x minus 12. And then I have to divide everything by 4. And when I divide by 4, I get y is equal to 1/4 x minus 3. So now I have to do the same thing for line D and solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I get 8y is equal to -2x plus 16. And then I'm going to divide all the terms by 8 because that's the coefficient of my y. So once I divide by 8, then I'm going to get y is equal to -1/4 x plus 2. Well, 1/4 and -1/4 are my slope. They are not the same and they are not opposite reciprocals, so they are neither parallel or perpendicular. Now, in this practice or example, we were given 2 graphs. So the first thing we need to do is count our rise over our run, and we're going to use the points indicated on our graph. So you see this point and this point are highlighted, and they marked those perfect coordinates for us. So we can count from there. So we went down 1, 2, 3. So that has a rise of -3, and we have a run of +1. So my slope would be a -3 over 1, which simplifies to a -3. Now here I'm going to compare these 2 points. And so I went up 1, which has a rise of 1, and a run of +2. So my slope would be 1/2. Again, my rise over my run. So here, -3 and 1/2 are neither the same or opposite reciprocals, so they are neither parallel or perpendicular. All right, now let's take a look at 4.2, writing equations of lines that are parallel and perpendicular. So just a quick reminder, parallel lines have the same slope, perpendiculars have opposite reciprocal slopes. So we need to write the equation of a line that is parallel to y is equal to 10x minus 3 and goes through the point. So if we have to have a line that is parallel and our slope is 10, that means that our slope of our new line has to also be 10. And then we have to make sure that that line goes through the point 1, 5. So we have an x value of 1 and a y value of 5. So we can do this in one of two ways. We can either use our point slope form. So we're going to do that first. And we plug in our slope, our x, and our y into our point slope form. Once we do that, we are then going to simplify it. And then we're going to solve for y to put it in slope intercept form. Okay, then we have our slope intercept form and we need to solve for b. So we did this in module 4, lesson 1, and now we're going to use those same skills in module 4, lesson 2. So our slope intercept form, we solve for b. So we're going to plug in our slope, our x, and our y value into our slope intercept form. So we're going to plug in our 5, our 10, and our 1. Then we're going to simplify. So 10 times 1 is 10. And 5 is equal to 10 plus b. So then I have to subtract 10 from both sides. And negative 5 is equal to b. So y is equal to 10x minus 5. So now, depending on whichever method you prefer, point slope or slope intercept, either way, you've gotten to an equation that is parallel to 10x minus 3, or y equals 10x minus 3, and passes through the point 1, 5. Now I want you to go ahead and try the next one on your own, and you can use either method. So pause the video and try to find an equation of a line that is parallel to y is equal to negative 4x minus 5. All right, now that you're back to check your work, we have a parallel line, so we're looking for the same slope, which is going to be negative 4, and passes through 0, negative 1. So if we use the point slope form, you would have, I don't know where those numbers came, sorry. You would have had y minus a negative 1 equals a negative 4 times x minus 0, while y minus a negative 1 simplifies to y plus 1, like we see here. That's equal to negative 4 times x, so negative 4x. Well, then I have to subtract 1 from both sides because I need to get the y by itself, and I get y is equal to negative 4x minus 1. Now, if you chose to do the slope intercept form because you're more comfortable with that after doing lesson 1, then that's fine. We can check to see your steps here. So we have negative 1, because that's my y value, is equal to negative 4 times 0 plus b. So that just means that b is equal to negative 1, because anytime I have something times 0, it's just 0. So then I get y is equal to negative 4x minus 1, because my y-intercept is negative 4, and I already knew my slope. So in this particular example, it was easier to plug it into slope-intercept, but it's not always the easiest. It depends on which ordered pair you were given. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at when those lines are perpendicular. So we need to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular. So those are opposite reciprocal slopes to y is equal to negative 5x. And it goes through the point of negative 5 minus and negative 3. So our slope is going to be a positive 8/5, because remember, if we're doing opposite reciprocals, we have to flip our fraction, and then if it's negative, then it's going to become positive. That's why it's the opposite reciprocal. So we know our slope will be 8/5, and then we're going to plug in our x and y values. So first we're going to do point slope. So we're going to do y minus a negative 3 is equal to 8/5 multiplied by x minus a negative 5. So when I have these double negatives, remember, it's really showing a positive, so I simplified that to y plus 3 is equal to 8/5 multiplied by x plus 5, because again, I had double negatives. So now when I simplify that, I'm going to get y plus 3 is equal to 8/5 x plus 8, because all I did was multiply this 8/5 times x and this 8/5 times 5. And then I need to subtract 3 from both sides, and I get y is equal to 8/5 x plus 5. Now, if you decided to plug this into slope-intercept form and solve for b, this is what it would look like. So negative 3 is equal to 8/5 multiplied by negative 5 plus b. So when I multiply 8/5 times -5, I'm going to get -8. So now I have -3 is equal to -8 plus b. And then I'm going to add 8 to both sides, and -3 plus 8 is going to give me 5. So again, I found the y-intercept of 5 both by doing the point slope form and the slope intercept form. It does not matter which format you use as long as it works for you. So I got the same equation, y is equal to 8/5 x plus 5. Now I want you to go ahead and try the next one on your own. You can use either method. You don't have to do it times, just one time, and see if you got it correct. All right, now that you're back, let's go ahead and check your work. So again, we're looking for perpendicular. Here we have a slope of -1. So that means that our slope of our opposite reciprocal or perpendicular line would just be 1. And if you think about it, that makes sense because -1 multiplied by 1 gives me -1. And to be an opposite reciprocal, you must be able to multiply them together and get -1. So if you decided to use the point slope form, you would plug in your -1 for your y, your 1 for your slope, and your -5 for your x. And then I went ahead and simplified that. Again, because I had a double negative, I get y plus 1 is equal to 1 multiplied by x plus 5 because I had a double negative. Once I simplified that, I got y is equal to x plus 4. Now, if you did the slope intercept form and solved for b, then you had -1 is equal to 1 times -5 plus b. -1 is equal to -5 plus b. Once you add 5 to both sides, then you got b was equal to 4. And then I just had to plug that in with my slope of 1 and my y-intercept of 4. And there I had my equations. Now again, you only had to do it once. So if you chose point slope and you got the right answer, you're good to go. If you chose slope intercept, then that's fine too. All right, that's it for our notes. Now there's 2 pages of practice for you to complete, and you can ask questions in class.